Let's return to the Middle East. For the first time in months, the Lebanese army is now present in 3 pilot zones in the south of the country, which are being used as a test of a deal between Lebanon, Israel and the United States. The aim, of course, to disarm the armed group Hezbollah and remove them from those areas, redeploying to the Israeli forces who are south of the Litani River. Let's speak to BBC Arabic's Karim Torbi, who is on the outskirts of the town of Western Zawtar. So I've got this impression in my mind of the Lebanese army coming into these zones, surrounded by both Hezbollah and the IDF.
Well, first of all, Hezbollah doesn't have any clear presence, so we don't really know whether Hezbollah is still present in the area that the Lebanese army has deployed into yesterday for the first time, as you mentioned, in months. 2 of the other areas that are considered in the first phase of this pilot zone project are actually not occupied, are actually areas where the Lebanese army is already there, and the residents have come back to those areas after the end of the latest escalation. So basically, this is just to show how confusing and complicated the situation is, because in the mentality of the Lebanese, this deal was meant to ensure that Israel is gradually withdrawing from towns in Lebanon. The Lebanese army is taking over, is making sure there is no more any infrastructure for Hezbollah, and then this will be gradually implemented until a full Israeli withdrawal from all over Lebanon. So here we are with 2 towns with no withdrawal whatsoever because the Israelis weren't there. The third town, which is Zawtar, where we are standing, this is like an entry point to Zawtar because at the moment it's inaccessible to the residents. The Lebanese army went there yesterday, and just hours after it started deploying there, the Israeli forces fired at proximity of one of its positions. They said the Lebanese army went a bit too close to their positions, the ones they are occupying in a nearby village. So it's still very dangerous. It's still extremely confusing for the residents here. I don't really know what the army is going to do, whether this is going to lead to anything. There is a lot of skepticism about all of this.
What I think intrigues a lot of people outside Lebanon is the relationship between the army and Hezbollah, because it's a very complex society there in Lebanon. Can you explain to people the makeup of the army and what that relationship with Hezbollah is like?
Well, it is a very interesting question and it's quite a hard one to answer. I'll try to simplify. The thing is, basically, Hezbollah is a Lebanese group. It's a Shia militant group. It is supported by Iran, financed by Iran, but it is mostly, it is made of Lebanese people. And the army has been extremely apprehensive of coming face to face with Hezbollah or disarming Hezbollah by force, because it fears this could lead to some sort of internal conflict, of another civil war between the residents of the same country, and it draws on a very horrible history that we had just decades ago when there was a civil war in Lebanon. The army got completely divided, and therefore there were complete chaos in the country that lasted for 15 violent years. So the army is very apprehensive into the approach of this. It wants to disarm Hezbollah. It says this should be a political solution before it comes down and trickles down to the application on the ground, and has been advocating for some sort of a political solution, the like of what happened with the IRA in Northern Ireland or in other parts of the world, rather than a direct confrontation that could lead to some very unfortunate outcome on the ground for the Lebanese.
But just very quickly, Karim, is it split along ethnic lines? I mean, would you see more Druze, more Christians within the army, more Sunnis in the army, and Shias on the other side?
Well, not quite much. I mean, first of all, this is a taboo within the army. The army doesn't like to speak about itself as in terms of, a sectarian composition of the army. It says it's one army, unified for all the Lebanese, and it works only for the interests of the Lebanese. But we also know this whole society, the Lebanese society, is a mosaic of religious, of sects, and it is always a very fragile balance.
Indeed so. You've explained it very well. Karim Torbi, thank you very much indeed. One to watch.